Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Israel says it will allow foreign countries to airdrop aid into Gaza in the coming days. Some airdrops took place last year, but aid groups warned at the time that they could not deliver aid in sufficient quantities. Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry says 9 more people have died of malnutrition in the past 24 hours, bringing the total such deaths to 122. Médecins Sans Frontières says its team are witnessing catastrophic levels of malnutrition. On Thursday, the US and Israel withdrew their negotiating teams from Gaza ceasefire talks in Qatar, with Washington accusing Hamas of not acting in good faith.
Our staff is trying to take care of their casualties without having eaten as well. So this is a really pressing scenario, and it needs to end. I think people are at the end of the rope. It's hard to continue to go on day after day. I don't know how they've done it up to this point, and they don't know how they've done it up to this point, but somehow they do. But at some point it has to stop. This is a cruelty being inflicted on them.
แล้วเหตุการณ์ที่กำลังเกิดขึ้นและมีลักษณะที่บุกรุกรุกล้ำ
Thailand's leader has warned that clashes between Thailand and Cambodia, which have killed at least 16 people and displaced tens of thousands in both countries, could move towards war.
ซึ่งขณะนี้ยังถือว่าเป็นการปะทะ
The acting Prime Minister added that the fighting now included heavy weapons and had spread to 12 locations along the border. Thailand also accused Cambodia of firing into civilian areas and evacuated all villages deemed to be within the radius of its rockets. Cambodia, for its part, accused Thailand of using cluster munitions which are banned in much of the world because of their indiscriminate effect on civilian populations. Thailand has not responded to the allegations. The Philippine Supreme Court has blocked an impeachment trial against Sara Duterte, marking a victory for the country's vice president. The lower house of the Philippine parliament had voted to impeach Duterte in February after she was accused of misusing public funds and threatening to kill President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. The ruling means she has been granted a reprieve from possible ousting, at least until February 2026. A New South Wales politician has been found guilty of sexually assaulting 2 young men in Australia. A jury found Gareth Ward, who is still a sitting member of state parliament, guilty of 3 counts of indecent sexual assault and 1 count of rape. Both of the victims said they were assaulted at Ward's home after meeting the 44-year-old through political circles between 2013 and 2015. The treason trial of the former president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Joseph Kabila, has begun in a military court in the capital Kinshasa. He also faces other charges, including murder and rape, linked to his alleged support for M23 rebels, who control a large part of the mineral-rich east of the country. Kabila's successor, President Felix Tshisekedi, has accused him of being the brains behind the rebels. The ex-president has rejected the case as arbitrary and said the courts were being used as an instrument of oppression. People in Yunnan province in China have captured the moment a landslide was triggered by heavy rainfall. Onlookers watched as debris and foliage flowed down the side of a mountain, and people can be heard telling others to stand back. There were no reports of injuries, with local authorities reporting temporary disruption to power and traffic. And Japanese police and local hunters in Nikko in Tochigi Prefecture have practiced their response to a potential bear attack in a simulated drill. The demonstration saw a man dressed as a bear chased off by firecrackers and showed participants how to safely approach an animal after it has been shot or tranquilized. Tochigi has seen 3 bear attacks so far this year. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.